for us, do me a favor then. Go home tonight, take all your albums, your tapes, and your CDs, and burn them. Because you know what? The musicians who made that great music that has enhanced your lives throughout the years, real fucking high on drugs, okay? The Beatles were so high, they let Ringo sing a couple of tunes, man. Tell me they weren't partying. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. You know how fucking high they were? They had to pull Ringo off the ceiling with a rake to sing that fucking song. John, get Ringo. He's in the corner. Pull him down. Wow, look at him scoot. Grab him. Look at him scoot. But Ringo, come down. Yoko's gone. We can party again.
Youth culture is supposed to be sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Your act is very much sort of all sex, drugs, and violence. Are those the topics that interest you, or they just get the immediate responses?
No, they interest me very much so, but I think that they tie into larger issues such as freedom of choice and freedom in general.
Yeah.
Pretty pompous, I know. You're going, Bill, I did see your show. Oh, well, hey, what's wrong with sex, drugs, and rock and roll, Clive? Come on.
You know the story about the two kids that were big fans of this group, Judas Priest, and they committed suicide? And the parents of these two kids sued the band, Judas Priest. Okay, first of all, two kids, big fans of Judas Priest, commit suicide. Wow. Two less gas station attendants in the world, you know. What? I don't mean to sound cruel here, but I don't think we lost a cancer cure here, you know. Look, there's going to be no delays in the shuttle launch because of this. You understand? They weren't that an integral part. No, Bill, you sound so cruel. Fuck them. They were idiots. Get it? Okay. But the point is, they tried to prove that there are subliminal messages on these albums telling you to kill yourself. Let me ask you a quick question, which, by the way, failed to come up at the trial, which they had. What performer wants his fucking audience dead? I don't get the long-term gain here. What are these guys in the band thinking? I'm fucking sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. Sick of it. What you sick of? The whole fucking thing. Touring, making $400,000 a night. Free drugs, free booze, stretch limos, penthouse suites, groupies blowing me dawn to dusk. I'm in a rut and I want out. I know we have all those shows coming up. I know it sucks. Unless. Ian, Nigel, come in. Oh shit, Nigel, get Ian. Ian, come down. I've had an idea. Let's kill the fucking audience. Nigel, go get the soccer ball. Ian, come here.
Other people go, he was cruel and vicious, and he talked about violence, and shut up, good deal. These same people read Stephen King novels, all right? And they come to see me and they're shocked. You know what I mean? It's a show. It's a performance. It's a theater. If you go, what do? Do you go to see, you know, The Grapes of Wrath and complain because the actors didn't wear shoes? They're Okies. They don't have shoes.
Yeah.
And we were really offended. It's part of the play. Well, people are idiots.
Well, that's
cut that.
I'm not going to argue that.
I'm an idiot.
I don't want
I'm not going to argue it.
It's a difficult thing. We're not idiots. Look here, I'm not an idiot. The difficult thing, the difficult with stand-up comedy, of course, is that the people think you standing there talking, and there's no sort of apparent art form. There's no.
Right.
There's not a play. It's not a piece of music. It's not a song. It's just
right.
you standing there, saying what you feel. So you'll have a very immediate reaction to it.
Right. And it is amazing the visceral emotions that people get from stand-up, and particularly shows with people that are saying something, they get angry and you're going... And what bugs me too, though, is they get angry before they hear the punchline. They don't know which way it's going to twist.
Remember that a few years ago? You play albums backwards, they're satanic messages. Let me tell you something. If you ever sat around playing your albums backwards, you are Satan. Don't look any further. And don't go ruining my stereo to prove a fucking point. Come here, listen. Can you hear that? Satan is Lord. Man, it's crystal clear. Check this out. It's almost like it's in the room or something. Ah, you're Satan! Did you know if you play New Kids on the Block album backwards, they sound better? Yeah. Oh, come on, Bill. Kids, don't pick on them. They're so good. They're so clean cut, and they're such a good image for the children. Fuck that. When did mediocrity and banality become an image for your children? I want my people who fucking rocked. I don't care if they're bottles of their own vomit. I want someone who plays from his fucking heart. Mommy, the man built over to listen to has a blood bubble on his nose. Shut up and listen to him play! The new kids. We're the new kids, and we're so good and we're so clean cut. A good clean country. Play with one hand and put a gun in their other fucking head and go, I hope you enjoyed the show! Yes! Yes! Play from your... I am available for children's parties right now.
Just for
Oh, memories. So many on our last show.
Great day. Great day. Hey, a time when Julie Burchill came on the set and everyone really liked her.
Oh, goodness me. That was ages ago, wasn't it? Or Margaret Thatcher coming straight here from the announcement of the Falklands War and saying, where there is sorrow, let there be late license.
And of course, we had to break in broadcasting one night in 1963 to announce the Kennedy assassination.
You looked a lot like Walter Cronkite under the desk.
Let's go to an ad.
Returning to Channel 4.
You are a twit. What are you?
Lipstick on your collar.
Everything's changing. For the worse. Who was that? That girl. You are the best, Sylvie.
Baby, if I made you mad, something I might have said.
Don't you have nothing to do with me?
Come between a man and his wife.
Denis Potter's acclaimed drama Lipstick on Your Collar is back Tuesday at 10 on 4.
Pure softness for your woolens. Pure kindness for your skin. Pure freshness for your cottons. Pure kindness for your skin. Pure care for your delicates. Pure kindness for your skin. Comfort Pure. A better fragrance advanced fabric conditioner that's mild and gentle on your skin. Comfort Pure, gentle and mild.
I was trying to work out who it was until he actually says he's from 1+1.
The advert was on, and I thought, well, I might as well give it a try. I left a message first. That was relatively easy to do. The next day, I phoned up, says, you have messages waiting for you. So I phoned up at night, and I got through to him.
He asked me to meet him. We just met each other and we're married.
Call 0891 60 60 60. 1+1 gets you together.
What's all this about?
They're dancing in the water.
Looks like drowning by numbers, if you ask me.
It's called synchronised swimming.
You'd be better off calling it wet ballet.
Well, maybe you could try it.
What, then have everyone laugh as my hairy leg floats past?
It's not like that. It's a major team event, an Olympic sport even. Go on, give it a try. Short story.
Down form, he aims to be acceptable to a wider audience.
Oh, man. My wife's so naive. One time she said to me, if I ever caught you looking at a Playboy, I would kill myself. Wait a minute, this sounds too easy. I better make it a hustler just to be sure. I don't just want a flesh wound here. My wife's a stripper. She is. People have so many misconceptions about strippers. They think they're all prostitutes. Not true. And my wife happens to be a prostitute. But she keeps us separate from her stripping because she's a pro. And, she's always egging me on to fool around with her in public, and I hate that. I think anybody who makes out in public should be forced to go all the way right there. Don't tease us. You ever see a good-looking couple kissing? You start watching them, you know? You start fondling yourself a little bit, you know. Just a little bit, then they walk away like you're the pervert. They started it. Hey, you guys have been terrific. Thank you very much.
That seemed to go all right, but does adapting for the mainstream audience cause any particular problems?
Doing a televised show like for a network is pretty nerve-wracking for me because my show has gotten pretty, I like talking about pornography and strippers and masturbation, things like that. And so when I have to do a TV show, I have to change so many things. It just gives me too many things to think about.
Well, there's less for the comedians to worry about at Club Soda. This is the off-Broadway part of the festival where regular nasty and dangerous shows are put on and played to capacity crowds. And definitely not tailored to a TV audience, but our cameras were allowed in to catch Denis Leary letting rip about some of his favourite taboo subjects, using a fair smattering of everybody's favourite taboo words.
So I smoke a lot. Okay? I smoke 7,000 packs a day, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm never fucking quitting, okay? I don't care how many laws I make. What's the law now? You can only smoke in your apartment, under a blanket, with all the fucking lights out. Is that the rule now, huh? The cops are outside. We know you have the cigarette. Come out of the house with a cigarette. I'll pop your head. You'll never get me, cop. I'm never coming out, see? I got a cigarette machine right here in my bedroom. Yeah, there you are. I not only smoke now, I make noise when I do it. I go... I'm tired of these speeches from the non-smokers. It's always the same speech. Like, that cigarette's fine. That cigarette sets her afire. You're sucking that cigarette because you didn't suck on your mom long enough when you were a kid. Hey, that's the absolute truth. If I could buy a pack of tits, I would. I'd be smoking 40, 50 packs a day. Are you kidding me? I'd never get out of the fucking house. I've been out of the drugstore first thing in the morning. Give me a carton 44 days ago. What about? They go leave the nipples on, no problem, because I love to smoke them tits. I'm a tit smoker, I'm a tit smoker, smoking all them tits. Oh, now. Oh, shit, my philosophy bag leaking. Oh, man. Woo! Look, there's nothing wrong with the philosophy bag. I'm pissing right now. I might even take a shit. I don't know, folks. It's up to me. I have complete creative freedom. I'm philosophy bag now!
Well, many people find not only the language, but the content of this kind of show totally unacceptable. For that reason, not funny either.
So would you go along to, say, one of the shows here called the one called The Nasty Show?
I didn't go to see that.
I know I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, when we grew up in the world of television, and even in nightclubs, they weren't allowed profanity.
What about I mean, apart from maybe the swearing, which you've noticed and objected, there's quite a lot of detail about sex life and
If it's done with a great deal of taste and intelligence, it's okay, as in any art form.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between pornography and art.
I think by using a four-letter word like that word, you can tell a joke very simply, or one line and say, hey, that's a lovely coat you're wearing, Fire. Beautiful. You never throw anything away, do you? Now that stands on its own as a funny line, but that's not the way they'd say it. They said that's a lovely F coat that you're wearing. Why? I don't know why, because that's not the joke. The punchline was the joke.
Yeah.
But I think they defeat and they weaken a punchline by using any suggestive, dirty words.
Denis Leary has certainly got the use of the F word down to a fine art.
Like to fuck a baby seal in the eye socket's what I'd like to do. Maybe fuck him up the ass with a baseball bat. What do you think? While I'm phoning somebody on a fucking elephant tusk fucking phone. What do you think? Find those fucking green people real quick, don't we, huh? Now that's just not funny, goddammit. The colossus bags were fine, the cancer, but I fucking draw the line at baby seals getting fucked up the ass with baseball bats. I'm a member of the Seals Fucked Up the Ass Baseball Bat Committee. And I feel very funny when you have a show like this where people are supposed to go over the edge and you just find that one fucking thing, you know? You would have thought it was the fucking tumors or something else or maybe jerking off one of your dogs, but no, it's the baby seal getting fucked up the ass with a baseball bat. I should have fucking known. Look at this guy, all in white. You look like a fucking baby seal. Tell you what, come on.
It's not just the language that's shocking in Denis's act. He seems to have a need to keep going until he finds a topic to offend the particular audience he's playing to.
But last night when I got to the baby seals,
Yeah.
you know, I just talked about colostomy bags, Jesus, you know, and it's about everybody else, you know, and had a list of the people that should be dead and shot.
Yeah.
And it comes to the baby seals, and it's like, no, you know.
There were quite a few seals in the audience.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, there were.
But maybe it's a touchy subject in Canada.
I should have known when I saw those big, you know, doughy black eyes looking up at me. Oh, you're seal. I'm sorry. I should have done the seal.
But you keep going until you get them, as you mentioned the colostomy bags and the smoking and the cancer and stuff. I mean, do you get people complaining about that? They come around and say, look, I've got relatives who've died.
It's always that story. It's always, I've got a friend, or I know somebody, or my uncle, or it's never the guy. And I've always found this to be true. I could be wrong. Maybe I haven't told everybody. Whenever I have a guy in a wheelchair that comes up to me and after a wheelchair show or, you know, a joke that the show that contains wheelchair does, they always think it's funny. I had a guy who had testicular cancer come up to me one time, and his comment was, boy, I really thought the cancer stuff was funny. Do you do anything about testicular cancer, like requesting material? Because they've been through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you've had cancer and you live through it, I think you develop a sense of humor about it. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't had it yet.
A lot of people, they persecute us for fouling the footpath. But I ask you this, which came first, the pavement or the poop?
Weep for the crispy bits. These plucky innocents ask only to pursue their dream of maximum crispiness. And what do? We tie them down in toffee. We chain them in chocolate. There are literally hundreds of crispy bits bursting to get out of every single toffee crisp. And we, my friends, we can free them! That one's fine, Bill. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Car insurance prices are down at Swinton. Contact your local branch for a quote.
You know that little crack you've been trying to ignore?
Well, surprisingly, autoglass can usually repair it without replacing the windscreen. It'll be strong enough to pass the MOT, and it could even be free. Provided, that is, you call us in time.
We have all the love in the world. If that's all we have, you will find we need nothing more. Only love.
Oh, boy.
Nice work, boy.
Do you think she meant it?
At Halford's, this 2-ton trolley jack is down £5. There's £2 of Castrol GTX. Haynes manuals are now $8.99. And there's £5 off a stop lock too. Colour Magic is $6.99. This microshell cycle helmet is $14.99. And there are great savings in the massive bike sale. So head down to Halford's now.
Well, here we are at that club soda, where the crowd is coming out of the nasty show. There's another crowd waiting to come in for the dangerous show. Did you come because it was a nasty show, or just...
Yeah, I think it should be the outrageous one.
Yeah. Do you think it was outrageous enough, or...
More than I expected.
More than
Really, I was shocked by the puppet. I couldn't believe it. I felt like a virgin.
We're not too familiar with Jersey. Fucking polluted there. New Jersey, where a fart is refreshing. I like that, huh? If you fart in a car in Jersey, they roll the windows up. Hey, that's a broccoli fart, man. Close the fucking windows up there. God damn you. Next time you're in Jersey, take a shit in the car and stop guard the window.
Anything about you find offensive, or you find difficult to cope with?
Yeah, if you find it offensive, don't go.
Did I mention I got a wooden cock? All right. I'm hung like a kayak paddle. Just the last festival. Next Thursday, we're appearing at the Roman Polanski Nursery School and Daycare Center in Connecticut. I'll be playing the xylophone nude with a lollipop in my ear.
Otto's the man, and George is the dummy, we think. And the dummy, George, is he's quite rude about all sorts of things, and really lets rip.
But actually, Otto is very nice. I don't think so, no. And I think that's always the temptation to think, well, the dummy's completely sacred, and I'm sure people did.
Well, it's a great way of doing material that's shocking or offensive. You offload it onto a character in a play, right, or your little dummy there. He's an interesting actor. He's not a great ventriloquist in your technical ability. I think the old expression is his lips are a blur. You don't see them move with a fast. But
so we're saying he gets by on great material, are we?
Well, it's strong stuff. But these acts manage, I think, when they're going full tilt, to offend as many people as possible. So there's plenty of bad language to offend older people.
The thing that I think sad is I don't think they do. I mean, the audience I saw watching Otto and George the other night absolutely loved it, and the worse it got, the more they weep.
I'd like to see a porno movie. Anybody see mine? It's a 3D porno movie called Coming At You. Actually, I did one with all puppets. It's called Caligula, Fran, and Ollie. I fucked Miss Piggy in this movie. I torched her. Bacon shot out of her ass. I torched that bitch. Did it to her froggy style.
As president of Just for Laughs, how does Gilbert Rozin justify the inclusion of this sort of humor at the festival?
Anyway, when you put a festival together, you're there to see what's going on in comedy all over the world. There's a very thin line to where do you start to censor? You know, where do you say, okay, if it's a Jewish joke, we won't do it, or if it's a joke about black people, you should not do it. I don't know, you know. I have to admit that I prefer to leave it to the audience to decide.
Excuse me, can I ask if you enjoyed the show tonight? Oh, absolutely, thoroughly. Is that sort of stuff you like, sort of nasty shows?
Yes. I've been to every nasty show for the last 2 years, and it's great.
Anything about it offend you? There's sort of stuff about women that was maybe some people might find objectionable. I don't know.
It's humor. You're not supposed to take it that serious, you know.
Obviously, there is an audience for this kind of thing, but as the performers keep looking for new ways to shock, are they going to run out of places to go?
There's sort of like a choice you have to make. That seems to be one pressure that takes you down that line. That sort of make it acceptable for the network, get your 5 minutes to go on the casting show, and run it all down. Nobody offended. The other line, of course, there's another danger. Perhaps you're going down. You do some surprising stuff and shocking stuff in areas that worry people. But then you've got to worry them a bit more with your next piece. You've got to keep getting it sort of more shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's holes to be found in both highways. And the controversy one is that, like, you know, all of a sudden if you start to do something that isn't controversial, there are people that will sit back and go, oh, geez, that wasn't very controversial. Right after the baby still, but he did a bit about his socks in the drawing. You know what I mean? You have to be careful with that. But I think, first of all, I think it's just point of view. I really think comedy should be what you really think is funny and not what you think the audience thinks is going to be funny. I mean, the audience will judge for you, but it's got to be your point of view. There's a lot of guys out there doing controversial stuff because they think they're going to make money at it now, who, you know, aren't controversial. They don't really believe the stuff they're doing. So both ways. I mean, you know, if you want to go out and talk about colostomy bags, you better think it's really funny. And not, I'm just hoping I'm going to find a laugh here.
They all should have been killed, man. Elvis should have been shot in the head in 1957, huh? When he was still good-looking and thin and had the big head of hair. So we could remember him in a nice way. How do you remember Elvis? He was found in the toilet with his pants around his ankles and his big, fat, hairy, sweaty, king of rock and roll ass exposed to the world and his final Presley turd floating in the toilet behind him. Ah! One of his aides on it were going to go, damn, Elvis is dead. I'll better flush the toilet. Oh, man, I should have saved that. Could have made some money off of that. That's why I'm glad Jesus died when he did, man, because if Jesus had lived to be 40 years old, he would have ended up like Elvis. Come on.
When it all comes together in your acts, when you're imagining what Jesus Christ might have been like if he stayed alive and been dying in the same condition as Elvis Presley, and coupled with a peppering of swear words, I think you
That
aim
sums
to
up my entire career.
you aim to offend every possible person in the country. But it goes down very well with the audience.
Yeah. I think it's true, though. Yeah. You know? I mean, I think that's why it's funny. But, I mean, if you've been to Graceland, I don't know if you've been there.
I've not
Elvis's house. But, you know, it's like the shrine, you know? I mean, it's unbelievable. And there's more stuff there. First of all, he had more money than Jesus ever did. And there's more stuff there to make Elvis look like Jesus than... And it's amazing. And the funny thing is, that happened to me in Britain last year. I don't know if I ever told you about that, but I was at the Comedy Store one night, and I was in the middle of the Elvis Jesus bit, which I had just recently, you know, expanded, right? And a guy, I got a laugh, and then I heard a heckle, and I thought, okay, I'm done with the laugh, and I turned to get to the heckle, and it was a guy, like a university student, dressed in a white shirt and a tie. And so I assumed, of course, like anybody would, he's heckling me about the Jesus bit. He's upset about the Jesus thing. And he actually, and I talked to him, and I said, what's the problem? I just jumped on him. Oh, well, Mr. Jesus guy over here. And he was like, no, I just really don't think there's any need to discuss Elvis that way, which got a big laugh. Then I thought he was putting me on, right? So I just ignored him and went on with the rest of the show. At the end of the show, he came out to the bar and said to me, you know, I really don't think there's any reason to discuss Elvis Presley's condition like that. He was a great artist. And he was one of these, like, he's a British guy, but he was like the American Elvis fans who think, they still think that Elvis didn't take the pills, and the doctor like snuck all those drugs into his system, and that he really loved religion, and he never would have messed himself up. And it's like, yeah, right.
What do you think about this sort of British comedian Jerry Sadowitz, who was on the other night with you there?
I think Jerry's got some brilliant stuff. That line about the feminism, feminists, if they hate men so much, why they all look like men. And the thing about the American comics is very funny.
He's very cool, American comics.
Yeah.
Well, he's cool, that's it.
True though. True. True. He's really a brutal act.
Well, performing a brutal act in a fringe club is one thing. Taking it to the main Saint-Denis Theatre is another. Jerry Sadowitz tried out his unexpurgated act on a stunned audience more prepared for Mary Tyler Moore. In fact, we can't show you his act, not because of censorship by the authorities. Jerry himself insists the performance is not included in this program. But but here are some of the reactions it provoked.
He doesn't belong here. This is a gala event. If you want to go to an X-rated show, you go to an X-rated show.
I was shocked, but I thought he was funny.
I think it was very inappropriate. We all paid very good money to see the show. There is a nasty show, and we all could have chosen to go see that.
In fact, Jerry's act had come to an abrupt halt when a member of the audience, perhaps incensed by his insulting remarks about French Canadians, or his insulting remarks about everything else he spoke about, got up on stage and punched him in the face. In the ensuing confusion, an ambulance was called and the festival authorities were left with an agitated and polarized audience.
What do you make of that incident involving Jerry Sadowitz?
It's very shocking, I thought.
I think that people are insulted by what he said about the people. In the most derogatory manner. It was disgusting. I'm glad that they took him off the stage.
Yeah.
It hadn't been so aggressively done. But I was glad to be rid of him myself.
I found his comedy entertaining. Not in the beginning, but later on I did. I know, with the guy rushing out on him, I found that disgusting. Even though the tension is pretty high here in Quebec between the English and the French, there was no use in doing what he did. Truthfully, no.
This is a free country, free speech. He wasn't hitting anybody. He wasn't hurting anybody. He had a perfect right to say whatever the hell he wanted to say. And I think it's a bad thing for Montreal. It's pitiful. Disgusting. He should get his ass back up there and finish what he was doing.
You know, I've been here since the beginning of the festival, and Jerry is the most over-the-line act that we have ever had here. And to be perfectly honest, I think he just went over the line.
Well, no, my point is that there's a thing called the fourth wall, and to break the fourth, for the audience to go up on stage and hit a comedian, it's like, is that the end of civilization? I mean, what? It's like holding a surgeon's arm while he's operating. I think it's despicable and repugnant. I mean, the act may have been controversial, but, you know, you don't burn down a movie theater if you don't like the film.
Well, it's a little bit of a confused situation here. At least it can be something to do. I mean, sort of Oprah Winfrey there for the moment, getting reactions and arguments going there. But there it is. We'll find out a bit later, hopefully, about how Jerry Sadowitz has survived this particularly aggressive and violent piece of, well, it goes beyond heckling. But so far, I found about half the people here in the audience seem to think, well, he shouldn't have been on the show in the first place. And the other half thinking, well, whatever he was doing, somebody shouldn't have gone up and hit him, and the security should have been better to stop it. Well, Jerry made a speedy recovery from the assault, but what did he feel about the incident afterwards?
What I felt was a shame was that the audience didn't get the punchline. This ended on a joke when he gets across Tina Turner with an orangutan.
Yeah.
And that was it. They never did hear the punchline.
You got the punchline, or you got the punch.
Yes. Yes. Let's try and avoid those.
It's still a sore point with you, but I mean, you're the sort of comedy you do, as I'm obviously you're aware. It's hazardous, it's very aggressive, and you're pushing a limit the whole time. I mean, are you seeking a response from the audience, not a violent response, but people?
Everything I say on stage is designed to provoke a laugh.
Yeah.
To provoke a laugh. And you'll have reason to be stupid, you know. I have very strong views in comedy.
Yeah.
I don't believe if comedy's right on and sensible, it can't be funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And basically, every joke is a target.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take that to its logical conclusion and make everything a target.
Right.
And that, in my mind, that negates any idea that I might be a bigot or genuinely anti-this. It just makes it outrageous, and, you know, these are all stuff and say adjectives that should apply to comedians, but people a lot of people complain about what I do and say, oh, it's outrageous and shocking and not right on, and it shouldn't be. You're a comedian, you should always say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, there's only one sort of person that would stand on stage in front of 3,000 Canadians and say, good evening, moose suckers.
Yeah.
And that is either a madman or a comedian.
Yeah.
And
you did it.
And I won't say which one I am, but the point is, a madman or a comedian.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about bland comedians, I spoke to Denis Leary and we both seem to agree on this, is that because so many comedians are quite bland and they want to become actors, they do comedy as a stepping stone to get into acting or something like that.
Yeah, get into a film.
Yeah, and because they try and be as nice as possible and their style is very nice and the comedy's very bland, it means that quite often comics like myself and Denis Leary stand out like freaks, right? Because most people are used to seeing that kind of comedy. So when they see someone like Denis Leary or someone like me or someone like Sam Kinison say, they think, oh my God, I've never seen them like that before, so it's like it's a monster on stage. But
do you think maybe in the stuff you were doing about French Canada, was it the political situation a bit more sensitive than you really realised?
I didn't realise there was any political situation. Someone telephoned me the following day and said that, you realise there's been rioting in Quebec about all this, you know. Actually, it's not Quebec, it's actually pronounced Quebec, but I'm saying Quebec just to deliberately displayed it in an anti-intelligence stance, right?
Yeah.
In Quebec,
Yeah.
there was a lot of rioting.
Yeah.
And burning of British flags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. You know, but in any case, whether I knew it or not, it doesn't matter, because everything I say on stage is said as a comedian.
Yeah.
Right? It automatically bars me from being taken seriously.
What plans have you got for the future? Have you got big gigs lined up?
I have no plans for the future, and far from being recognised as the absolutely brilliant comedian, which I most certainly am, and have influenced comedy in many different forms over the past 10 years, far from being recognised, I am on the scrap heap. I live with my mother, I do absolutely nothing. I wait for the telephone to ring, it never does.
Well, this program...
I don't get work. I don't get the opportunities to perform that I so richly deserve. And I am destined to become extremely embittered. I'm already embittered, actually.
Yeah.
Embittered, jealous, spiteful, horrible.
A typical stand-up comedian.
Unhappy, miserable. Typical stand-up comedian is the correct phrase I was looking for.
You should never, ever, ever attack anybody, ever, under any conditions. Right. So how about that?
Yeah, well, that deals with the discussion then, I think. There's nowhere to go.
See you later, Bill.
Dennis, what do you make? Have you ever been attacked like that by anybody?
No, I've never been attacked like that, but I really
Come
think...
on, you have to.
Yeah, that's right, the guy, Caroline's, yeah.
We're not talking about a bad review. We're talking about actual violence.
I think the good thing is this, is that if somebody actually takes a shot at me or Hicks, I think it's just going to be a gunshot from the audience. They won't even bother to come up on stage. It'll just be one of those... Right. Well, he's down.
We get a different class of heckler. None of these poor Scottish hecklers. I'm going to go get him a sandwich.
Yeah. No. We don't get these brawlers. We get guys with actual scope rifles. That's the kind of guys we get.
But do you ever get that? I mean, it could happen in America. Everybody carries guns. Every other person got a gun.
You know, see, that's Canada for you. The guy gets pissed off. He has to run all the way up into the stage. He has to grab the gun. In America, bang, bang, it's over, you know? He's winged, he's down.
We have things to do.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm just going to stop at Hicks' show for 5 minutes. I'm going to kill him. That's it. Then I got to go over to Leary's show.
Can't knock that, can you? Just the last day for the Montreal Comedy Festival. Rip-roaring stuff, really is. Top-notch. Get all the best programmes here on that.
Phil.
Yeah?
Oh. Phil.
What, mate?
Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt you in this sort of like...
I am doing a link.
I know, you're doing a link. You're right here in the middle of live Zoo TV.
So I really have got something to present you.
You, Philip Jupiter, are about to be awarded this here lovely, silvery bluey gift.
Fantastic.
To mark the sales